The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello there, you lucky devils. You are now completely and entirely plugged in live. Well, not really. You're plugged in live to the YouTube pregame of the Stones Unturned podcast. I am your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horn, and you better bet your bippies I read everything. Hey, Anthony. Is this too much? Is 3 nights a week too much? I don't care. I'm enjoying myself. Hi, Scott. Hi, Kevin. Kevin first in the chat today, if that matters. First in the YouTube chat. I don't have the premium stream going yet. We pay by the second for that. At a very reasonable rate. Hi, Sticky Marks. Yeah, I'll tell you when. It's not quite streaming yet, Sticky Marks, but we'll get over there in about 15, 20 minutes. We're going to take a look at the Sandy Spook propaganda for what it's worth. Whether Sandy Spook was real, fake, doesn't matter. There is propaganda, and we're going to take a deep look at that tonight. We're going to look at some patterns. Look at some patterns. What am I? Chat. There we go. I think if I pull this, there we go. Has anyone had a problem with the really awesome? Has anybody had a problem? Anybody got a problem with the really awesome live stream player on the premium site? I can make tweaks to it. I may make a couple of slight visual tweaks to it. I might try to get it to leave the controller on screen a couple more seconds that give you time to click on what you like. You bring it up and then there's what I want, and then the thing goes away. That's the thing that drives me crazy. I will try to get that. You should be able to cast to your Chromecast or Apple TV with a click of a button on the control on the premium stream player. That seems to be working pretty well, huh? Anybody had a problem? Watching from they made it more automatic. They made it more, it'll auto configure. More people sign on, it just automatically reconfigures for me. And it actually ends up being, I don't think it's going to be any more expensive than what they were charging me before, really, looking at it. But it's pay as I go, so I don't have to pay for a whole year in advance. I paid for some in advance, but seems to be working great, and it's my own private. It's actually more private and more secure than it was before. Mum's the word, but suffice it to say, my own premium private streaming server is more secure and more private than it was before. I'm not breaking any laws or libeling people or doing anything like that. But when I say free speech zone, I mean I'm free to speak. The chat, the premium chat, that's hosted on my website. The player, I got the code from the guy. I'm just looking it over, and when I get time, I'll get it installed on my server I'll even have the embedded player hosted on my site. But that may need a little testing. But it's a web app, and the app is hosted on his site. It's very simple code. I don't know why I'm worrying your pretty little heads about it. Then once I get the player app, which is the stream is not, he has no, I mean, he could watch it, but he can't do anything with it. And he doesn't care. You think he cares? You have all the various footage from that CIA town and have some old info from Columbine. The occult interest of the not Bob Dylan? Who's that? You speak in riddles, Sticky Marks. How was your Easter? Blah, blah, blah. I have nothing against Easter. Was it anywhere near Passover this year? They're supposed to be on the same weekend. That's the whole point of both religions, is they observe their most important holiday on the same Monday, April 22nd. It's a month off. You know, the Last Supper takes place, it's the Passover feast, right? You understand this, right? So they give Dylan S.Z. I got you. It's using this whole Cockney rhyming code thing. I got you. Very clever. It is clever. It's something that Google bot can't keep up with. Their artificial intelligence is dumber than a box of rocks. I'm really underwhelmed. Tonight we're going to take Sandy Spook and the propaganda about Sandy Spook. It's almost like they had all these stories already written before anybody ever pulled any triggers. You know what I'm saying? The story was already written. Kind of like the Patriot Act was already written long before 9/11. I know that one of the victims and several of the victims were supposedly interested in Satanism, like high school kids are, and like she's raised by these really religious people, so they get an interest in religion and spirituality, and so they get, they try to make Christianity exciting for teenagers, and nothing is exciting for teenagers for longer than 30 seconds. Including, but not limited to, sex. Okay, they crave the novelty. So, Christianity is a very boring religion. Christianity is maybe the most boring religion. Buddhism is the most, but Buddhism is not a religion. I can't get that through people's pretty little heads. Buddhism is not a religion. It is a technique for escaping religion, religion is a form of slavery of the conscious mind. It's just trying to extinguish. You're trying to shed you're like a cicada. Your conscious mind is this plastic shell, and if you can shed that, you can fly up to the seventh. You're not even flying up to the seventh heaven. You cease to exist completely. It's the dumbest religion and the most boring. But it's a good relaxation way of life, and transcendental meditation, which doesn't even pretend to be a religion. That is a very effective. You should try guided meditation. There's no brainwashing, there's no mind control. It's very simple. You can really teach it to yourself. Like I did it one time, and I can just do it myself anytime. It's very simple, but it's very effective, and you feel very relaxed. Calamity Jane Codex. Okay. The Doris Day Code. I got you. There's the Da Vinci Code, the Bible Code, and the Doris Day Code. See, once again, there's a lot to that stuff. There is a lot of very loaded symbolism in those paintings of that time. Secret signs, secret orders. That stuff is all real. But no, Pierre Plantard is not the bloodline descendant of Jesus of Nazareth. There is a movie on YouTube which you should see. It is called Black Tuesday with Edward G. Robinson. Not Rod Steiger, the other beefy but really good actor. Underrated actor. Not Nicholas Cronenberg. There is no such person. Broderick Crawford. And a Prison Break movie. The cinematography in that movie is... Watch it with the sound off. Watch the movie with... That's a movie you can watch with the sound off, made 1957. Okay, Dr. Gene Scott got you on Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Each individual section of the story is immaculately researched and pretty true. Does it all tie together? No, not really. But there's something there. Think about this. These movements go underground. The Gnostics, I think what happened was, to be just, now that Easter's over, let me tell you what happened. The Christianoi infiltrated Constantine's ecclesia. And once they got inside, they kicked out the original, or tried to kick out the original Gnostics. It's perfectly clear that Constantine himself was some kind of Gnostic. That this cult of Mithras that he was initiated into, you don't sacrifice a bull to the god Mithras. The bull is sacrificed to you. You're not just an initiate. You are becoming a god. This is Gnosticism. This is, and it's a bull, so we know it's probably Phoenician. We know it's Minoan. We know this. Right? Like, who are the people who teach the Hebrews to worship the golden calf while Moses climbs the mountain? Not everybody in that neck of the woods worshiped the golden calf. Aren't they basically Philistines, Phoenicians or somebody? Aren't we pretty sure? I'll look that up sometime. I'm not trying to disprove anybody's religion. But you have to understand that these stories are collected and edited over time. So back to my main point. When Constantine orders the Christians to join this new universal state religion, religious state, this theonomy that he's building, and his grandson really makes it Christian, and they start syncretizing their books and melding all these books together, the Christians, they see the danger in the Gnostics. And from day one, they're just infested with Gnosticism, with Gnostics and Gnostic bishops that they are constantly trying to purge, which they never successfully do, not completely. And it's in several texts in the New Testament are clearly Gnostic. They got smuggled in there. But I don't think it was the Christians had a church and then the Gnostics snuck in. The Gnostics dominated Constantine's ecclesia, which he ordered the Christians and everybody else to, you better get in line with. But I think that's what happens. And they take it over. They're among the best educated. But you have what you end up with early Christendom, this early Christian Roman Empire, is you have a separation between the legislature and the executive. You have the main separation is between the Pope, he's not even called the Pope yet, and the commander-in-chief of the Roman army. You divide those two offices of the emperor, and they're sort of co-equal. So Holy Mother Church it has no death penalty, right? Justinian is the emperor, he's not the Pope. Julius Caesar tried to be both. Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, they were Pontifex Maximus, and they were the executive leader of the civil bureaucracy, and they were commander-in-chief of the armed forces and police forces. So Christendom divides this up into basically two branches of government. So I think the Gnostics, but you get Islam, which is probably a Gnostic breakaway Eastern church, because Shia Islam looks exactly like the early, the Dark Age Christian church. Like you can see the parallel evolution. And then the Western church isn't even, right? So had the ceiling fan on his head? Those are good questions, Sticky Marks. I know what he's talking about. He, she, I lost track. I don't even care. I know what Sticky Marks is talking about. So they're constantly, but the earliest records and letters that they saved from among their own internal squabbles is they're always trying to push. In the beginning, they basically refer to it as the heresy of either Arminius or Arius. Both of them are very closely related. Jesus was born a man and he became God. So this is Gnosticism, and this is a very dangerous cult. But this is something that Constantine had already joined, this cult of Mithras. They were able to restore that mural that's in that temple. That's a temple of Mithras in the basement of a Christian church. So you have these two politically powerful groups coming together, and they're supposed to be some kind of unified ecclesia, but you see the Catholics, and I'm using the small c there, the anti-Gnostics, because they see how dangerous this cult is, and it is incredibly dangerous. It's still around today, and it is basically Phoenician, which they picked up from the Minoans. And that includes sacrificing their own children. That's why in Leviticus, they're Israelites by that time, right, are forbidden to sacrifice their children to Moloch, which is a Phoenician word for sacrifice. And the Phoenicians have been proven by archaeologists recently, they did sacrifice their own children to their commercial enterprises. There's no doubt about it. And they have infested the earliest records we have of the so-called Christian church, the ecclesia. They are constantly trying to drive out these people who are calling themselves Christians, but Arminians, Arians, Gnostics. I think the word Gnostic is applied far too narrowly. Far too narrowly. Gnosticism goes way back before any potential birth of Christianity. Some of the books of the New Testament predate Christianity by 300, 500 years. The red heifer's about to die. See, there are people who believe in that stuff. That's the thing. And Israel's becoming more and more and more dominated by their ultra-Orthodox fundamentalists. More and more and more. Although they are exempt from military service, you know that, right? But they're the ones who are pushing for this. And the Palestinians are the Philistinians, or the Philistines, or the Pilasti. Yeah, Anthony, you need to. You're missing. You're all you're getting is teasers on YouTube these days. That's all you're getting is teasers. We have cracked the whole thing. We are continuing to elucidate. All right, at 6 o'clock. It's Grandpa's bedtime. I need to get the show going. Thank you, YouTube. I'll see you all over at... Oh, well, before... I got to get it going. It takes... That's an old tube-type server, and it takes... Those are old cathode ray tubes. They take a minute to warm up. Let me get that going. I forgot to do that. Yes, I got it right this time. Turn it off for a second. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay. Get the oscillator cranked up, and then that'll start warming up the tubes. In the meantime, here's where the polling stands in a three-way race with Biden, Trump, and RFK Jr. This is from The Hill. Kennedy's averaging close to 10%. And he's at 10% in the Real Clear Politics national average. Trump leading Biden head-to-head by 3 points. Factor in third party, showed Biden ahead by 3 points when only facing Trump. But Trump took a 1-point lead when Kennedy, who received 13% report. Okay. Tubes are still warming. Yes, by the way, incognito mode meant nothing. I use incognito mode when I want to see what the public sees when they Google my name, which is everything I want them to see. My dream has come true. All right. What was I looking? Oh. So go ahead and start moseying over to the premium site. Do I need to refresh the screen or something? Yes. Now, let me get logged in. Then there's then there's a lag between me starting the stream and the stream showing up on the page. So zero drop frame so far, knock on wood. At the appropriate juncture, in the fullness of time, what you will do is you will click try again. There's Kevin. There's Spartan. Okay, click try again, and it should pop up. If not, and it will take a second, it'll do this a couple of times. Sometimes I have to refresh my screen. Let me give it a second. Did this last time. Might help if I do this. No, that's not going to help. Silly. All right, let me refresh my screen. I'm trying to solve this problem of having to refresh the screen. Okay, I didn't have to refresh it. Now it's working. Seems to be working for me. Give it a mo on your end. Hi, Melissa. Hey, Sticky Marks. Now it's working. Seems to be working for me. Give it a mo on your end. Hi, Melissa. Hey, Sticky Marks. There. Victoria Cookie Monster Newland, Mrs. Kagan. She's been so quiet since got the hell out of Dodge. Month-to-month subscription? No, you could go month-to-month, and like you could start it right now. Kevin. Anthony. Sorry, Anthony. You go month-to-month. Or you could get a discount if you go a year. It's $9.99 a month or $99.99 if you do a year. Hitler began last Friday when someone did. And you can binge watch. There's 20 or 30 old episodes you can binge watch. And the chat never goes away. There's a chat, the premium chat is just there permanently, and that's hosted on my server. The chat's hosted on, and the comments are hosted on my server. And the premium video player looks like it works great, and he sent me the code. I can just embed it in my own, I can install it in my own server. I can host the player on my own server, assuming that works okay. So, and you can see all of the Zodiac police reports, and there's a lot of other. Hi, Pablo. Hi, Joey. I'll get the show rolling here in a minute. I just love the custom player. I just love it. I love it. Because you can, if you click on the gear icon on the custom player, you can set your stream. Now, if you want to change the resolution of your stream, like the same bandwidth, once you change it, pause. The best thing to do is pause, change it, and then hit play, and it will start playing at the resolution that you chose. And then there's a cast button, there's a picture-in-picture button, so you can have the video playing. Like if you hit the picture-in-picture, what happened? Yeah, those are really good, Anthony. Those are really good. You missed the ones where I show you what's going on right now. You missed the ones where, oh, playing picture-in-picture. There we go. So you got picture-in-picture, and then you can have the chat open and move the picture-in-picture around on your phone like this. So let me. Okay. So you can do picture-in-picture and move it around, and there's the chat. You can do that on your phone or your tablet. That should work. Okay. You can go full screen, which looks gorgeous. And then there's a cast button on the player as well. It should work. If you're watching on an iPhone, you can cast to Apple TV device. If you are watching on... Yeah, see what I stare at when I... If you're watching on your phone, on a Android, you can cast to Google Chromecast automatically with the cast button. It won't cast to the YouTube app. If you have YouTube app on a smart TV, it won't cast to the YouTube app. It will only cast to Google Chromecast enabled TV, or I've got a Google Chromecast dongle. Are you serious? Is this thing not... Hold on. It's not aligned correctly. Give me a second. Like that, and then like that. There, I think that's better. That should be better. That better be better. Yeah, that's better. There we go. I'm a stickler. If you think this looks a little bit like the banana splits, you're right. If you think it looks a lot like a blacklight, a room full of blacklight posters, that's exactly what it looks like. I've always dreamed that my show would look like it's all, like this all looks like blacklight posters, right? This all looks like blacklight posters. That's why the garish, the neon, you notice those are neon colors, and it's like a blacklight poster. I had a bunch of blacklight posters. Blacklight posters and girly posters. And some blacklight girly posters. Okay, well, let's get the show on the road. Thank you, YouTube. Click the link in the description of this video and get plugged in to the Real Stones Unturned. Hi, Anonymous. Hey, Kevin. There's Channel. Okay, I'm gonna start recording here in a second. Get that going. Thank you, YouTube. I'll see you probably on Wednesday. I may do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I thought we'll try to get back on Sunday. So, good night. God bless. Please spay and neuter your cannibals, and please get plugged into the Stones Unturned podcast. It's for your own good. Oh, yeah, Anthony, the Lindbergh episodes alone